Hi everybody, I'm Maria.
I'm Max.
And we are confused
but excited about
getting the house ready for a roof. So in this video, we've got 4 things to talk to you about: the pool, the power room, the gables, and the columns and ring beam. Here we go. So in today's video, this chronicles about 2 weeks of March, and our main objective is to get to a place where we can start roofing. So from the ceiling height of the walls, we've got to finish all the way up and get it into a stable and proper structure for the roofing to begin.
I feel like it's achieving what we hoped we were achieving, which is a combination of a space that feels really bright and open, connected to the ocean, but also because of the height and kind of because of the shape, it feels sort of like its own little world, like a bit enclosed at the same time, which I'm really pleased with. And columns are such a cool aesthetic too, especially when they're so tall. It just provides a weird Greco-Roman thing. Where we left you, we ended with the ring beam, which is a nice flat cylinder, but the roof is arched like that. So this was a puzzle of many fundis, many craftsmen, lots of different math, using different materials that have different properties and want to be used in different ways and take shape in different ways, and how to coordinate all that together while making sure all the rest of the components of the house are ready so that that can begin. It's been a crazy couple of weeks.
It really has.
So the pool, this is attached to the house and it's placed in a very important location. Part of this is just for fun, so it's close. Part of this is for accessibility. If you've noticed, I have a disability which makes it difficult for me to walk around, especially uneven surfaces, wet surfaces. So we really wanted this to be, the goal is accessibility, both getting into and out of the pool, being able to shower off, coming back into the house and not having it be too far. So it's part of the structure of the house, and that's why it's built into the side there.
So if you look at it from the top, it kind of finishes the shape of the Nautilus. It's
yes,
cool.
Yes, yeah, that's it. So therefore, it's part of the way the roof and the beams around the roof lay. So there's a beam coming out of the side of the pool, and on the other side of the pool, there's a seat that has to be symmetrical and has to be integrated with the kind of circular part of the designs.
And that seat is actually at the same level as the ground slab. So in getting into the pool, all we have to do is step over a 40 centimeter high wall. Basically, it's a much easier and more accessible way of getting into the pool.
So that's why we really had to get the pool set up exactly correctly, the right height and everything before we could really think about the roof. It's a lot of moving pieces. Check out this video too of our last pool that we built at this current house that we're staying in, if you want to kind of know more about that process and what gave us the inspiration for that too.
So we are in the pantry store, and we're so glad we made it bigger, because this is gonna be the most efficient room we've ever seen. Come into the lights. This is our primary storage area in the house, and it's going to serve 2 main functions. One, it's going to be the power room. That means it's going to hold all the solar equipment, the batteries, the microcontroller, and it's also going to be the pantry for our kitchen as well as general storage. So from the original plan to this plan, we've actually enlarged it. We want to make sure that the electricity setup works and there's enough ventilation for the solar setup.
We've communicated a lot with the electrician, who's been very open to these ideas and to what we want, to make sure that we're being efficient with the usage of wiring, and also that it's easy to fix or replace if down the road when it wears out.
Can you describe the shape of the gables?
Barely. They shoot out of the walls and stick into the ceiling. So this took the most modeling, and this is kind of where the rubber meets the road, the simiti meets the chuma. When you have a curved shape underneath a angular roof, you end up with this weird sort of inverse parabola thing. Then you have to convey that to the stonemasons, who don't necessarily think in terms of trigonometry, and then the roofer, who thinks in terms of making sure the depth of the wood is correct and that the wood sits in a sturdy way. There were a lot of miscommunications along the way. So to convey the idea that this isn't a cone, we didn't want a cone because we didn't want to limit the height of the walls. We wanted to create this big upward swooping kind of energy. So what that meant is that all of these internal walls and all of these curved walls And all of these sections where there's a little bit of an exception to that curve, the fact that it's a spiral too, all had to be done in such a way that they were meeting in a way that not only would the timbers be secure, but they would also be lined up without having to do too much carving into the blockwork or adding more plaster onto the blockwork.
Okay.
So, because we had spent so much time kind of trying to convey this idea, and we were still running into the problem of people just not getting the fact that it was going to be an arched roof, even a couple days before this roofing process was supposed to begin. We came home, we decided we had to actually build a physical structure. I think people that are not used to looking at a 3D model like this one, it's a little abstract. You can't make the assumption that someone can look at it and for the first time put together what it's trying to say.
Yeah.
It's a visual language that we've learned over a lifetime of looking at graphic images and looking at 3D things in shows and games and diagrams.
So this is the house basically. It's got a removable top, which I want to move right now. And we've got the eventual roof.
Yeah. So I think people were a combination of amused and delighted by the fact that they could see it and feel it.
Each section ni hapa. So hii ndio itakuwa the highest at 15 courses.
Yeah. 15 so in about 3 meters.
3 meters.
Sawa na east side.
So hapa ndio hii main ridge beam ya roof italalia. So this side hapa mbele na hapa nyuma ndio itakuwa the highest points.
It visually and tactilely explains why the walls have these crazy angles and kind of come to a sudden stop and then take a turn and keep ascending or something, you know. Yeah. That was really cool to see.
That was very cool. We wanted to have that light, airy space, even in a 2-bedroom house, but still we wanted columns to give that sense of grandiosity within a small home. So the thing that we're told by engineers and fundis is that we should have a roof, like a second type of roof, emerging to the balcony, because everyone was concerned about rain coming in onto the balcony. But we thought that would really spoil the line of it, like if you had to basically cut those columns in half with a different type of roof. So we envisioned that the columns would meet up with the overall roof of the house, and while it wouldn't provide 100% shade, we were fine with that because
we don't mind the rain.
We don't mind the rain. We wanted somewhere where you can enjoy the outdoors. But one thing that kind of came late in the process was creating a ring beam, a concrete ring beam to join the columns, and it turned out to be exactly what would unify kind of the base for the roof, and we're really glad about it. But it was also a technical challenge because, again, it's a crazy shape.
Yeah.
Hey, Max. What's the thing you do?
That's the thing we do. It looks like the thing. That's crazy.
It's a triangle from the front view, but it's also part of a cylinder while also being a little bit curved.
Yeah,
is that right?
It's curved in all 3 dimensions.
Curved in 3 dimensions. So it's pretty impressive how these masons tackled this shuttering. So I think the first thing was translating Max's model and their measurements to real life, especially like one fundi Jonathan who was very keen to replicate those measurements. So this is a fundi team.
Yeah.
The amazing Jonathan and Hamisi.
Naitwa Hamisi, mimi ndo fundi ambaye najenga huu mjengo. Kwa hiyo kufikia saa hii tuko karibu na kumalizia. Ya sawa, hata mimi naitwa Jonathan, ni fundi, tunafanya hii kazi ya mjengo. Tumefanya kwa miaka mingi, so tumekuwa na uzoefu katika ufanyaji wa hii kazi. So sisi ndo tumeinua hii mjengo mpaka tumefikia hapa. Karibu kumalizika.
Thank you.
Tunapanda hii mafundi mbili kwa sababu ni kuna swali nzuri, kuna very thorough. Unajua many types of angles, many types of styles.
So once he was able to level set the heights of the various columns, and we were able to talk about where the ring beam would meet the house, which was different on both sides. It's not a symmetrical house.
Yeah.
Because the spiral, remember, it's not a circle. They were able to make the shuttering, the concrete form, out of plywood, and they're able to build this amazing platform, which is basically 2 stories high. So it's almost carving it out, carving this negative space out of plywood and wood, and then pour the concrete inside. That was amazing.
Mwah. It was so expertly done, and it was so cool to see.
So it's been a crazy last 2 weeks of March. We're getting to the end of March, and the rainy seasons are coming.
Yeah, it was just pouring. It's about to start pouring again.
We're in a race. We've been getting a few days of rain here and there, but the full rainy season is coming, and so in a race to get the roof onto our house.
Oi, yeah.
Join us next video for all about the crazy roof we have and the process.
Will it fit? Will the roof sit on top of the concrete monstrosity that we've created? Join us next time on another episode of
Confused
but excited.
Excited.
Good job.